Take a second to silence your phone so they don't inadvertently go off during our program. Thank you. And we're going to begin our meeting with a moment of silence for Helen Buchanan Howell Palmer Ball, wife of past president 1985-86 Shirley Palmer Ball, and mother-in-law to current member and past president John Bush. Helen passed away on December 11th at the age of 90. She and Shirley were married for 57 years when he passed in 2012. Shirley was a Paul Harris Fellow and an L.L. Anderson Fellow, named after our first president in 1912, recognized those who made requests to the Rotary Fund as part of their estate. The funeral service is at 11 o'clock tomorrow at the sanctuary at Second Presbyterian Church, with burial to follow in Cateville Cemetery. Visitation is from 4 to 7 tonight at Pearson's. In lieu of flowers, the family requests expressions of sympathy in the form of donations to Second Presbyterian Church or the charity of your choice. And now a moment of silence. Thank you. Providing our invocation today is Charles Brockwell, Parish Associate for Member Care at Highland Presbyterian Church, Pastor Emeritus at 4th Avenue United Methodist Church, Paul Harris Fellow, and a member of the 1912 Society. Welcome, Charles. And Charles also taught me Methodism back in 1999 at Global Presbyterian Seminary. And I think my Pastor Eric's saying the same thing. So Charles has a long history with us.
Well, we have a very happy topic today, and you don't usually look to the book of Ecclesiastes for happy topics, but there is a line there that says, bread is made for laughter. And I think they must have been thinking about a Rotary gathering. Let us bow. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Blessed are you, O Lord, our God, sovereign of all the worlds that are, King of the universe, and also our parent of love. And we praise your holy name, for it speaks to us of your grace, your mercy, your ever keeping on with us, with abounding, just abounding, steadfast love and faithfulness. We praise your holy name. And with praise also comes thanksgiving. Most especially this day, we give you thanks for each other and for these times together. We give you thanks for the land in which we live, and we pray for it to continue as a free democracy. And we give you thanks for those who serve other people, serve humanity through Rotary and their associations as friends. We always pray in your name and in your company. For we remember that Jesus said, when you pray together, I'll be there. And I call you friends. Amen. Amen.
Now, for the pledge in the four-way test. Sarah Hugenberg, Relationship Strategist at PNC and Rotary Leadership Fellow. Welcome, Sarah.
Please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States. And now the four-way test. Is it the truth? Is it
All right, y'all may be seated. If you have a guest, please make your way up to the microphone over here to my right. Introduce yourself and then your guest. Believe it or not, I've got a handful, more than a handful of guests today. First and most importantly, I can't forget my wife, Lynn, She's the only person that has to endure me more than once a day. So thank you for being here, man. I have Eric Bryant and Leanne Maynard from Christ Church United Methodist. Eric's our senior pastor, and Leanne is our associate. And Christ Church does several, we call them bridge communities right in this neighborhood. And tonight our speaker, Liz Curtis Higgs, will be giving the message down here. I have John and Elizabeth Hoagland, who've been here before. They good friends of ours, and Liz's as well. And Alan and Shelba Lubin, they're all there. So thank you for that. It's also my pleasure to welcome past president, I think, what was it, 96? 0809. 0809. I'm trying to make you older than you are, Bill. Thanks. Yeah, Bill, right here. Welcome. I'm glad you're here. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Is this on? Yes. Okay, I would like to welcome our first guest, which is Nicole Jackson. She is the CEO of Your Creative Option LLC. She is also a realtor. If you would please stand. She is the executive director of Noble Homes of Kentucky. Welcome, Nicole. Our second guest is Osei Craig. He is a community mortgage lender, assistant vice president of Park National Bank. And he's one of the reasons why I'm a mortgage officer today. He helped train me years ago, so I'm excited to be able to invite him to our Rotary Circle.
Hello, Sandra.
President Walt. Sandra Dodge, hi everybody. I'm really pleased to have my son Brian Dodge here today. In from California. Brian is in the semiconductor industry, of course, in Silicon Valley. So I'm happy and proud to have him.
Great, welcome. Hello, Claire.
Hi, President Walt. I have a special guest, Sohan Behan. She is a third-year medical student at U of L, and she is applying for the Global Rotary Scholarship. She met with Rick and myself earlier this week, and we think she's an outstanding candidate. We're delighted to have her here.
Hello, Mary Ellen.
Hi there. I have just met this guest who is coming to visit our club for the first time, Jonathan Richard. He's been a Rotarian in other cities and is coming to visit today, so welcome him.
Hello again, Lee.
Hello again. Well, I fell down on the job because I have a couple of guests that reached out to us that I haven't met personally, and I don't remember. Not sure they're here. Casey Clements, are you here?
Casey's here. I saw him.
Casey, where are you? Stand up. Did y'all run them off already?
Yes. Yes, I talked to him. And that was that.
All right, and Noah Williams, is Noah here? No, okay. All right, never mind.
All right, so never mind. And anyway, it's time to do a party recap. We can't thank Barney Sutton and Greg Braun. Is Greg here or Barney? No? Okay. Oh, there's Greg. He's gonna hit me over the head with his walking stick. So we had such a wonderful time last week. Thank you. I haven't taken my red vest off. And somebody last night said, well, you wore that in honor of the Cards' victory last night. And I said, no, but I will. Lynn will make me take it off after a few days, though. Buddy Stewart let me know that I have on a Stewart, as in Buddy Stewart, plaid tartan tie. And what I didn't know about that was that the Queen picked this plaid for her reign, and she really didn't like it when Americans would make wrapping paper out of it, rip it off, and throw it into the fireplace. Can't make that stuff up. But I didn't have anything to do with Buddy the Elf running around. Oh, I'm sorry, Buddy. I shouldn't have gone. Okay. Next. Thank you again, everybody, for having a great time. As a part of our Every Rotarian Every Year campaign, we ask members to consider a voluntary contribution of $100 each year to both Rotary International and our local Rotary Fund. Through the end of the year, we're offering matching points to those who are working on their first Paul Harris Fellow Award. You can see Mike Cool or Kelly Burke for details. You can give a check to Delane or get a link on online's made directly that way. And now, without further ado, I'd like to invite Larry Williams, broker associate at Stephen C. Company, to the podium for a few announcements. Welcome, Larry.
Good afternoon. Several Rotarians were in the spotlight. Hold it. First of all, congratulations to Barbara Sexton-Smith and Nicole George for their being appointed to Mayor-elect Craig Greenberg's senior leadership team. Barbara as deputy mayor and Nicole as deputy mayor of Public Income and Service. Congratulations to leadership fellow Kelly Spilson on the grand opening this weekend of Epiphany, a fun cocktail bar with community-driven farm-to-table vision located at 1525 Holland Avenue. Walt presented our Western Warrior Project check to Nicole Scales, Master of Education, Professor, School Counselor, Freshman Academy, Western Early College. We need your help to win the Red Kettle Challenge with the Kiwanis Club. This year, we have a couple of shifts available still for this Saturday, or you can make a cash donation or contribute online. See George Brockmeyer. There are still tickets available to our Rotary Day at the Opera this Sunday at 2 p.m. Discounted tickets are $30 each, and we will have the opportunity to visit with the cast at a private reception following the performance. Something else. You're good, man. Our Honor Scholar Mentoring Program resumes with 3 dates in January. Join us if you can. No experience is needed. Details, registration links, and much more are in Sparks. To scroll down and read it all, and be sure to wish your fellow Rotarians a happy birthday. Back to you, President Walt.
Thank you, Larry. Way to go. All right. So it's a pretty big deal. We got 2 deputy mayors in our club. I think that's really great, Barbara and Nicole. Also, is George Breakmeyer here? There's George in the back. He always shakes your hand and says, seems like you got a good right hand, good for ringing bells. But let us not forget. Oh, you've never heard him say that? Then you've intentionally avoided him. I get it. But what you may not know is that anybody, if we have an open space in one of our slots that doesn't get filled, George fills that himself, and he's done that for over 25 years. And I think, yes, that is. It means a huge deal to our club, makes it special, but it really, the folks that get beneficiaries of what we do and how we do it, thank you, George. And now I'd like to invite to the podium Susan Zepeda to share an opportunity for you to participate in the District Rotary Friendship Exchange.
Thank you, President Walt. Just wanted to let you know that our district is finally going to the North Island of New Zealand on the dates that are posted there. And just a reminder, because you crossed the date line, you're actually leaving here on the 17th. So if you can make that time, we have a slot for 1 couple or 2 individual Rotarians to spend a wonderful, glorious 2 weeks in New Zealand. You won't regret it. And if you can't come, but you'd like to host the visiting Rotarians who are coming here April 19th through May 4th, again, we're looking for folks to either host a couple or we've got space for 2 individual travelers who are coming. We have one who's a Corvette owner who would love to stay with a Corvette owner. And in case that time commitment is too much, it's actually broken down to April 19th to 24th. Then they travel to Bowling Green and Paducah and Owensboro and back to Louisville for April 30th through May 4th. And they're going to join us at Rotary Day at the Downs. So let Tom Evans or me know if you'd either like to be on the plane over to New Zealand or you'd like to open your home to a visiting Rotarian. Thanks very much, President Wall.
Thank you, Susan. And I just got, this is gonna digress for a minute. So back in 1984, I was in Rotary Club Paducah. And we had a Rotary friendship exchange from New Zealand. And I had a young man come stay with me for a week in Paducah. And not 2 weeks after that, I was asked to leave the club. Go figure. I have the honor today of introducing my friend, mentor, and fellow Christ Church United Methodist member, Liz Curtis Higgs. This award-winning speaker, best-selling author, Bible teacher, and radio personality has inspired me and uncounted audiences worldwide. In 1995, Liz received the Council of Peers Award for Excellence, becoming only one of 40 women in the world named to the Speaker Hall of Fame by the National Speakers Association. She has featured articles about Liz in 250 major newspapers and magazines around the country. She's been interviewed on 600 radio and television stations, including guest appearances on MSNBC, NPR, and more. Liz is the author of 37 books with 4.5 million books in print, including bestsellers such as Bad Girls of the Bible. Yes, if you didn't know that that was Liz, now you do. The Christy Award winning Whence Came a Prince, Fair is the Rose, and a Thorn in My Heart. She wrote Women of Faith, Women of Joy, Extraordinary Women, Time Out for Women, Moody Women, Women of Virtue, Winsome Women, Women's Journey of Faith. And if it's a conference about women or for women, she has been honored to be there. She's spoken at more than 1,800 conferences in all 50 states in 15 foreign countries, including South Africa, Indonesia, Germany, Ecuador, and Japan. Liz is married to Bill, and Liz and Bill shared their 19th century farmhouse in Louisville with their two teenage sons at the time, Matthew and Lillian, and too many cats before moving to St. Matthews. Her messages are biblical, encouraging, down to earth, and profoundly funny, helping both sister and speaker embrace the truth of God's amazing, unchanging grace. Let's give a warm Rotary welcome to my friend Liz.
I just want the mic, Walt. Thank you very much. He's offering his hand. He'd offered all kinds of things in his hands, but basically I just needed the mic. How are you, President Walt? I love that. So there's a couple of spare batteries up here. I don't know if they're from me or the mic, but I'll put them right over here. I'm dying to hit the bong. It's just so loud and delicious. Well, hi, everybody. How are you? I am so grateful to be here. I'm so embarrassed by that very long and very kind introduction. You don't really need to know all that. I'm just Liz, your neighbor, who's grateful to be here. My father was a Rotarian, and he was a Rotary Club member as long as I was alive. And for that matter, as long as he was alive, he lived to the ripe old age of 89. And my father said, every decade is more fun than the one before it. I already hear a right. So is that your experience? I love that. I thought he was crazy, but as I mature, I'm discovering he's absolutely right. Now, I've made a circle of the room. I did not see, but I could have missed you, any teenagers in the room. Do we have any? Right, so we'll just move right along. But I will say this. Often we think, gosh, to be a teenager again, would any of you honestly really want to go back there? No way. All that angst, all those hormones. And you know, we say to kids when they're teens, these are the best years of your life, right? Don't say that. Don't say that, because it's not actually true. And if they're having as hard a time as we did in our teens, it's not very encouraging. So we'll move on. Do we have anybody here in their 20s? Just checking on that. Well, look at you. We're so glad. Now, everybody looks back to their 20s and thinks, oh, those were the days, man. Everything was where it was supposed to be. And, you know, it was just all good. But you know what? The 20s are very hard because everybody expects you to know the answer to the most important questions in life. Where are you going to go to school? What are you going to major in? What are you going to do? Where are you going to live? Who are you going to marry? Oh my goodness, it's exhausting. So my 20-year-old sister, I want you to know, It gets better, I promise. Who's here in their thirties? Anybody in their thirties? There you go, one back there. Awesome. Now, we also have fond memories of our thirties, don't we? And that's because we forgot that the thirties can be tricky because now you have to do all the things that you were thinking about in your twenties. The expectations are high and you're trying to do it all, have a family, start a career. It's exhausting. So 30 somethings, I want you to know, it really does get better. Who's here in their 40s? Where are my 40 somethings? Okay, we got a few out there. I see one in the back, fantastic. Okay, the 40s are really exciting because in your 40s, you finally get your groove. The problem is you start to lose it almost as soon as you're starting to groove. It's really true. I think there's one day in your 40s where you really are on it, and then things just start going wrong. I had to start bifocals in my 40s. I was so frustrated by that. It felt so oldish. And I just wasn't ready, but I had to do it. My doctor said, Liz, you have presbyopia, which I thought sounded like the fear of being a Presbyterian. That's not what it is. Not at all. But it's that need to move stuff farther and farther and farther away just to even see it, right? I mean, I was at a point where I was going to wear my watch on my ankle just to know what time it was. It's like, oh, I can see that down there. That works really well. So the 40s are fine, but the 50s are better. Who's here in their 50s? Anybody? Oh, lots of hands. Fantastic. Aren't the 50s fun? They really are. Now, I dreaded something in my 50s that turned out to be the best part of all, and that was the empty nest. Oh, I thought, I love this job. I just can't give up this job. We took our second off to college. She went to Savannah College of Art and Design. So long drive home, many tears. I walked in the house. It was so empty and it was so quiet. And it stayed that way, and it was so clean. And it stayed that way. And I opened my fridge and there was food in it. And I opened my wallet and there was money in it. So I'm all about the empty nest. And anyway, we all know the birds just fly right back. So how about 60s? My hand is up now for the 60s. Yes, look at all of us. Aren't we adorable? Here's what I love about the 60s so far. I'm actually closer to 70 now, but I've loved the 60s. Because here's the truth. For those of you who aren't there yet, you're going to love it. Because when you hit 60, you do not care anymore. You don't care what people say. You don't care what people think. You are finally living your best life. Am I right? Can I get an amen from anybody? Thank you very much. It's a freedom I didn't know was going to come, and it's just kind of awesome. Now, those of you in your 70s, hands please in your 70s. Oh, I'm told that's an amazing decade, but when I ask people what they love most, they always say grandchildren. And I don't have any grandchildren yet. I've done my part. I have a son who's 35 and he's been married for 13 years. And you know, folks, we can't say anything, right? You can't say anything. I'm tempted. I'm really tempted. So are you having sex? I'm just checking. Like, no, you can't ask that. Don't go there. But you get the reason why I might want to know, but I can't go there. So I'm still waiting. How about in your 80s? I know we have some folks here in their 80s. I love it. So proud of you getting about doing your thing. Well done. You were the kind soul who asked me if Bill was here today. Actually, our 35-year-old son called Bill and said, Dad, can we go out to lunch? Maybe he's going to ask him some important questions. I don't know. I said, go, Bill, go with Matthew to lunch. 80s, awesome. You want to shout out what's the best about the 80s? Oh, he's going to stand up and give a whole story. And you all know him, so you know he will.
What's great about the team, that's where I got married at. And our birthday is 19 days apart. Mine's Thanksgiving week. She always wanted to know when the purchase the president. I always put a greeting for her on her birthday. And I wish the day could be a reflection of her. Bright, beautiful, warm, and sunny. But I leave off the kicker phrase. And in the mid-80s.
Right. Women never want to talk about their age. Well done. And it is bright and sunny. It's pretty for her. I happen to know We have somebody here in their 90s. And who would that be? He's in the room. There he is. God bless you. Just had his 90th happy birthday to you. So isn't it fun? Here we are this afternoon, and we're everything. We're all the ages. And whatever age we're in, wherever life finds us, isn't it fun? In the book of Proverbs is a favorite old verse everybody loves. A merry heart doeth good like a medicine. It's been translated many times over the centuries. A joy-filled heart is a curative balm. A cheerful heart brings good healing. Well, here's the deal. This afternoon, in our very brief time together, and I'm nervous because I know there's the timeline, and I can do 2 hours without a topic, so I need to be very careful. I'm going to give you, in our little 15 minutes we have left, 15 opportunities to laugh. Okay, you don't have to take them. Feel no pressure. You can just sit there and watch everybody else laugh. And if nobody laughs, I will quickly move to a motivational speech. All right, so you've been warned. Anyway, that is actually the minimum daily requirement is 15 laughs a day. So see, if you can just go ahead, and if you're wondering, how will I know when to laugh? I always go first. I laugh at my own stuff as if I've never heard it before. So just follow me. We'll get your 15 in. Some of you may get really enthusiastic and you'll be well into Saturday with your minimum requirement. But Fred Allen warns us it is bad to suppress laughter because it goes right back down and spreads to your hips. I can't afford that, so I intend to not suppress any laughter. People often say to me, well, Lizzie, I don't have your sense of humor. I get that. I grew up in an all funny family. In my family, you had to be funny or you were asked to leave. I am not kidding. There were 6 kids, I was the youngest, and we would sit around the dinner table at night, this big family, and everybody had to say, what's something funny you saw today? So I learned from the best. They taught me how to find humor everywhere. Where are my people who grew up in funny families? You know, you could call it weird if you prefer, but a little different, like to have fun. It's the best, and it isn't everybody's experience. And I've learned that, some people, they have a hard time laughing. And others of us crack up at the most inappropriate moments. We don't mean to, but we just can't help it. We see humor everywhere. So if you're not the kind of person who always sees humor, just stick with me a little bit here. I'm going to teach you where to look for it. Everywhere. Driving through Western Kentucky many years ago when the Pennyroyal Parkway was still a toll road. Got onto the Pennyroyal and I saw a sign that said, big sign, do not exit without exact change. Well, what are you supposed to do? I didn't have change. I didn't know what to do. I thought I'm gonna have to keep driving and driving until I see a hitchhiker and I hold out the sign that says we'll pick up for change. But what are you gonna do? Crazy, right? These things are out there. We just have to look for them. Southern Indiana, though you can see these in any of the lower 48 states, sign with the leaping deer, of course, and it said 9 miles, next 9 miles. I just thought that was weird. Not 5, 10, 15, 20, 9 miles. So we were paying somebody to measure how far the deer go. That strikes as an odd gig. And frankly, I didn't know the deer could read. I mean, they come up to the side and go, wait a minute, 9 mile marker, we got to stop right here. Please, why don't they give us a really useful sign like skunk 2 miles? That would be helpful, right? Or how about in Manhattan, Kansas, there was a sign in the window of the Burger King that said, wanted part-time adult. What a perfect game. When you're feeling mature, go to work. When you're feeling childlike, stay home, right? Because they just need a part-time adult who would qualify as a part-time adult. So you're laughing, so I'm counting you at least getting the situation. That's right, that's right. Orlando, Florida, the home of the mouse. So I'm going to take a shower, and they have a shower cap in a little box, as they do. But the box said, shower cap fits one head. We brought the wine. I mean, I tell you. So you're thinking an attorney must be involved here somehow, right? There's some kind of lawsuit. A family of 4 all got in the shower and trying to stretch. Peoria, Illinois. I got in the shower and it had a very classy sign that said, in the shower, place curtain in time. I thought it was asking a lot of a guest, but I went ahead and got all the curtains and I stretched them out in the shower. So see, it's so easy, friends. This stuff is all out there. We just have to look for it. As I said, though, not everybody laughs easily. I had a woman in the audience years ago up in the Northwest, and I looked out at her and everybody else was having fun. And she, nothing. There was nothing on her face. She wasn't shaking, squeaking, leaking, snorting. Nothing was happening. Everybody else having a good time. She wasn't. So of course, I was worried about her. And as we do, even while we're talking, we can be thinking, in my case, praying for that woman. I said, oh Lord, this woman is really struggling. She's having a very hard day. Please be with her. But don't you know, she's the first person that came up to me at the end and said, that was the funniest presentation. You know what I wanted to say? Tell your face. It has no idea. No idea that you're having a good time. Now, I know that life is hard. It's not always fun. It's not always fun. Here we are in the midst of the holidays, joyful, 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 right? But I made a little walk around the room, a little walkabout, and I know some of you have come in not in a joyous spirit today. I mean, you did your best. You got that smile on your face because this is the Rotary Club and that's expected, right? My goodness, you're a cheery group. So, but you know, we give ourselves away sometimes because our shoulders are a little saggy. And I just want you to know, I see you. I get it. Life is hard sometimes, and especially hard at the holidays. There's a lot of reasons for this to be not the happiest time of the year. And so for your sake, I hope you'll go ahead and we can help you do that. Anybody at your table, you can just say, yep, I've got a backpack of woes on my shoulders. We can help you get it. We can. And we'll just go ahead and tuck it under your chair, if that's all right, so that you can laugh. Because the problem is, if you got worries and troubles and woes on your shoulder, you can't laugh because you're bent over and you're squishing your diaphragm and you can't go up and down. So we want to get that off your shoulders and tuck it under the chair so you can enjoy these last 10 minutes. And I promise you at the end, we'll help you put all those woes right back on your shoulders if that's what you want. Although, I think if you're over 50, you won't remember where you left it and you'll just go ahead and dance out the door and happy holidays to you. Because you don't need to bear that burden. There is one who made you and loves you, who stands ready to lift that burden off your shoulders. Goodbye, beloved. She said, I'm going to have to scoot. She's scooting. Praying for your surgery tomorrow. Absolutely. Absolutely. Josh Billings says, laughter is the sensation of feeling good all over, but showing it principally in one spot. And I disagree, because you laugh in more than one spot. By our Creator's design, you are made to laugh because it benefits you physically. That's why a merry heart doeth good like a medicine. It's a medicine. Your blood pressure goes up when you laugh. How many of you are on doxazosine and now you're worried about it? It's like, oh no, high blood pressure, not to worry. After you stop laughing, it actually drops below the starting level. They have proven this medically. It's amazing. Your heart rate goes up when you laugh and then drops below the starting level. I mean, it's practically aerobic. Although I kind of agree with Robert Orban, who said the important thing to remember about exercise is to start slowly, then gradually taper off. That's how I'm going to agree with it for me. When you laugh, it massages your organs, especially those things you never think about. I bet you haven't thought about your spleen since you walked in here today. Your spleen has not even crossed your mind, but it's one of the many organs in there that could use a little workout. Norman Cousins calls it internal jogging. It's literally good for you. And if you've laughed a lot, you've had the experience of having your face hurt, right? Ever been there? There are 15 facial muscles that get into the whole business of laughing. So when your face hurts, it's your body's way of saying, please do this a little more often. Then there's the emotional benefits of laughter. I think those are honestly even more significant. It helps us handle stress. I'm wondering if you've had as a speaker or no, Dr. Cliff Kuhn here in town. Absolutely. board certified psychiatrist at the University of Louisville and also a professional comedian. Interesting combo, right? He said humor won't cure anything, but it does improve a person's resources for dealing with the stresses of life. If a psychiatrist is convinced it's good for us, we need to think about that. It's also free, which he is not. So you might just remember, laughing, free, good for us. It helps put life in perspective. I'm going to date myself with this. My favorite funny woman ever is Carol Burnett. She and I go way back and, you know, tug in the ear and all that. But she said comedy is tragedy plus time. And that is so true, and we know it. You've been in a situation where you turned to a friend and said, well, someday we'll laugh about this. I'm saying, why wait? You know, if you can see the humor potential, just dive in and go for it. It also helps us weather life's biggest challenges. 5 years ago, I was diagnosed with cancer, and they said, Liz, you have a tumor the size of a golf ball. And I'm like, wait a minute, I don't even play golf. I do not want a tumor the size of a golf ball. One of my heroes is Gilda Radner. You'll remember her perhaps from Saturday Night Live. She fought ovarian cancer like a champ, and she used her best weapon. She used her sense of humor. When it came time for her first radiation treatment, she did all the necessary reading, and then she brought her last 3 questions on 3x5 cards. What are the possible side effects? How do I treat them? Do you validate for parking? Just the important stuff. What most people fear, honestly, it's so fascinating to me. It isn't dying that most people are afraid of with cancer. It's losing their hair. That is such a big deal. Some people are like, I don't even want to know if I have cancer, and I definitely don't want chemotherapy because I don't want to lose my hair. I get it. It is kind of scary. In my case, can I just be honest? My hair was never anything to write about anyway. It was just, well, bless its little heart. I never had much. It was always really thin, which was my fault. Because as a child, I prayed to be thin, and I should have been more specific. But anyway. So I was not surprised when I am happily cancer-free, no evidence of disease, thank you, Lord. Very grateful. But my hair never came back. It didn't get the message. And so it just stayed away. No problem. You got a zillion wigs out there to choose from. I'm loving this one. It's called Glazed Vanilla. It's like wearing a Krispy Kreme. It's kind of delicious. But it did take some getting used to here in Louisville, because I had so many friends who knew the old Lizzie, that this new Lizzie just, it was weird. Really, it was odd to go out and about in a wig. Finally had to do it. I had to face the music, went to a viewing for a friend, and it was hard to be there. And what I should have realized when I walked into the funeral home is people had heard about my diagnosis, but they hadn't seen me around town. And so everybody looked over and went, it's Liz. And the first woman came over, she gave me a great big hug, and my wig went, I didn't know it could do that. I hadn't been hugging anybody. Oh my word, what am I going to do? Before I could come up with anything, here came another person, big God, yeah. Well, pretty soon, the little flippy bits in the back were here and the bangs were back here. And what was I going to do? There was no solution. So I just kept hugging people around the room until my hair went all the way around. Do what you can do, friends. And if ever you needed a sense of humor, it's to get through the hard stuff. Not the simple stuff, the hard stuff. And you've been there. And you've done the same because you're so smart. Finally, the spiritual benefits of laughter. Well, there's a lot of those. Ronald Neighbors said humor is a prelude to faith, and laughter is the beginning of prayer. Yeah, because when we're laughing, we're humble. Free to laugh at yourself, especially you're realizing, you know what, I haven't got it all figured out. In fact, I haven't got any of it figured out. In fact, I probably never will. And at that point, when you're able to laugh at yourself, you're ready to pray. And of course, you were made by one who has a wonderful sense of humor. If we are made in his image and we laugh, oh my. We know God has a sense of humor because you simply need to look in the mirror. In the morning. First thing. Joy is not reserved for the holidays. We really need it every day of our lives. Another translation of that wonderful old proverb, a joyful soul maketh a good life. So I've been looking at your Rotary Club mission statement. First of all, where'd they go? This is amazing. Is it the truth? That is such a great question. Is it fair? Will it build goodwill and friendships? Will it be beneficial? Hey, guess what? Laughter fits in all those. Notice how it does? Because it's always the truth that makes us laugh, not lies. And it's always fair. It's thrown out there for everybody. It definitely builds goodwill and friendships. And it's nothing but beneficial. Oh, and number 5, it's free. That's the really cool part. I also looked at your mission statement, advancing world understanding, goodwill, and peace. Have you ever said that to music? I mean, it would be really musical for sure. But I think laughing together, friends, ticks all those boxes. So, did you squeeze in 15 laughs? Is there anybody I need to do a little remedial work here before I leave? Did you get 15? Well, I hope so. Some of you, you'll get it later, I promise. You'll go out to the car and go, I can see what she was saying. It'll all work. Some of you are already into Saturday, and I'm so grateful for you. You're the ones I pray for. Please, Lord, let somebody here really get what I'm trying to do. Laughter is not always held up. It's not always applauded. Some families, kids were told, straighten up, wipe that smile off your face. And so it's hard to give yourself permission to laugh. I'm grateful for my funny family because they taught me the value of humor. What a blessing to be with you today. Thank you so much. President Walt, come on up.
So, Rotarians, if you have any questions for Liz, or if you have any, one-liners that might laugh at, he who laughs, thinks slowest. Think about it. Don't be last. All right. So I'll start off with a question myself is, what is one question you wish you would get asked, but you never do?
I'm thinking more about questions I've been asked that I wish I never had been asked. Wow. Honestly, I'm having trouble. You mentioned that possibility to me earlier and went right out of my head wall. People usually like to talk to Bill. There's a reason I don't always bring him with me, because people will go up to him and say, is she always this fun to be with? And that's when I have to put my foot on his instep, just to beg him not to tell the truth. We aren't always fun. Nobody's always fun. But if you focus on it, if you aim for it, sure enough, you're more likely to hit it than not.
No one?
I'll say something.
Okay, yay.
Okay. So,
Just shout it out, baby. This is
so I'm with my grandsons. They're 5 and 7, these two. And we're playing Wii bowling because we have Wii bowling at our house. They don't have it at theirs because we're so old. And they want them to do the 100-pin knockdown. So I'm playing and we're playing, and the 7-year-old finally looks at me and says, Grandma, you may be old, but you still got talent. I just had to give you that one line.
That's perfect. Yeah, maybe older, you still got talent. And they're absolutely right. I love that. Any questions, any comments?
This is no question, but there is a crazy sign at the Bat Stadium just down on Main Street. There's a door. It has the handle to push, and the sign on the door says neither an exit nor an entrance.
I have seen that sign, and it just cracks me up. It's like, then what exactly is it? If it's a door, but you can't go out, you can't come in. Can you knock? You can do that. That's awesome. I love it.
All right, this is Barbara Sexton Smith. I wasn't going to do this, but since we didn't know which way to go with the last one, if you're driving toward downtown, this sign was up a couple of years ago as you're approaching East Main Street and Story Avenue. And you're coming in there and the Home of the Innocents is on your right. You're looking to go left to come downtown. And I kid you all not, there was this street sign that the city of Louisville put up that said one way. And the arrow pointed both ways.
Well, I have to say, there's a sign out front of this place that said for the Rotary, go over there. Do you see that one? And I thought, what's over there? Is there a reception before it starts? Love it. Very fun, Barbara, and congratulations to you. Anybody else got something you want to throw in? Or would you rather just leave early? That's
I have a question.
yes, ma'am.
Where you've been everywhere, is there any place that you have not yet been that you want to go?
Oh, sure. That's a long list. Italy, top of the list. But can I just say New Zealand?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, been there twice. It is not to be missed. If there's a spot for a couple or two singles, go for it, not to be missed. So Italy, I've got a long list of places I want to go. I'm hitting one next year, Norway. But yeah, long list. 15 countries is just barely getting started in this beautiful world.
We've got a couple of things for you. Delaney, can I get the fish bowl? Please? All right. A fish bowl. She's never been paid by fish, but then first time birthday. But in honor of your talking with us today, we're going to Rotary wants to present you this with a $500 contribution in your honor to the West Louisville Housing Initiative.
Yes.
And for those folks, yes, thank you.
Don't forget the invitations.
So,
Awesome.
well, some of you all that don't know, but we're going to say this every time. When racial unrest hit our city a couple of years ago, we had a group of Rotarians that met all day, Zoom, 72 people on the Zoom, 2 Saturdays for 8 hours each Saturday. We came up with a whole list of things that we could do. The signature project for this club now is our West Louisville Housing Initiative, where Rotary is raising $5 million for the 9 named neighborhoods for first-time homeowners, specifically, or hopefully the person that our first loan will be a single mom holding down 2 jobs that has enough income, but not good credit that can get that. And it's a revolving fund. It's a evergreen fund. They pay off their loan, comes back in for the next person. And this $5 million will be for between 60 and 70 first-time homeowners in our West Louisville. It's a big deal. So I want to honor you with that. So yes, go ahead. And now for something completely different. What you've been waiting for as well. We have opera tickets today. We have 2, thanks to Susan Zapata. And so Liz is going to do the honor of drawing out a number, and we'll get your numbers out. Be ready to say yes, only if it's yours. Here we go. 487-841. Yes, sir. We got one. We'll get it to you afterwards, and one more. All right, 487-871. 871. There we go. Can't go that day, so we get to draw another one. Thank you, Mike. 487-864. 864 once. 864 twice. 864 is gone. And we're glad we stopped early, right? 859. 859. Isn't that a song? 859. Our Rotary International Scholarship, she's not been awarded, but nominee. That's what it is. There we go. So we're all good. Thank you so much, Liz. Yes. Just a couple more things, folks. Back to the script. You all know I don't do that well. So, we want to thank Butch Mosby and Kara Mackey back there. So they're here. Let's give them a round of applause. This is, come on up here. This is our last meeting at Joe's Palm Room. They've been our gracious hosts for the last weeks. And we want to, it'd be appropriate for y'all to stand up and just give them, tell them what you're ready. There we go.
Joe's Palmer and staff to the front,
There
please.
we go. Y'all can sit back down. Y'all can sit back.
Sorry, I'm just gonna take over. It's not the script, but we have a nice little envelope here. Everyone here today has contributed to show appreciation for your team. And so here you go. Thank you very much. And Merry Christmas.
We would like to say thank you all for giving us the opportunity to serve you and for you to give us this opportunity to partner and collaborate. It's important for us to bridge the gaps between the East and the West, break down the 9th Street divide, and this is an example of how to do it.
All righty. Now, in order to we're gonna end up at a good place, we hope. So we've got Walt's words of wisdom. Look at how a single candle can both defy and define the darkness from in frame. What good is the warmth of summer without the cold of winter to give it sweetness? John Steinbeck. Appreciate the beauty of a snowflake. It is necessary to stand outside in the cold. Aristotle. And from Lewis Carroll of Alice in Wonderland. I wonder if the snow loves the trees and feels that it kisses them so gently. And then it covers them up snug, you know, with a little white quilts. And perhaps it says, go to sleep, darlings, till the summer comes again. And lastly, just so you wouldn't forget, and all the reruns, no, I want, as Ralphie's getting his head smashed with Santa's boot going down the slide at the store, and yet you know where we are. No, I want an official Red Ryder carbine action 200 shot rotten air rifle. Nope. You'll shoot your eye out. So don't shoot your eye out. We are adjourned.
Hey, Walt. Yes.
Yes, if you're interested in Rotary, what is Rotary? Come here to the front. Good job, Walt. Great job. See you later.